Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to the first ever virtual annual meeting of the Arizona Golf Association. My name is Bob McNichols. I'm president of the Arizona Golf Association, and it's my privilege to welcome you to this meeting. In a little bit, Ed Gowan will be talking to you about the great successes and great year that we had in the year 2020. But before I introduce Ed, I want to ask your help for a project that we've started this year to rebuild and recreate the history of the Arizona Golf Association. For years, the Golf Association has been in existence, and unfortunately, many of the records and history have been lost. So we are asking you and anyone you know to contribute either verbally or in writing or just by a contact that we can call and interview you, the history that you know about of the last many years of the Arizona Golf Association. Please send your contact information to bob@azgolf.org, and I will turn it over to Fred Hickel, chairman of the History Project, and he will contact you or use the information that you send us for the History Project. Now it's my privilege to introduce to you Ed Gowan, the executive director of the Arizona Golf Association, to recap the incredible year in golf of the year 2020.
Thanks, Bob. And let me add my welcome to this first virtual meeting. We may have many more depending on how many of you respond to us and tell us that you like this format. It's unusual that we can reach more than 200 or 250 people with these awards and our information services, so we'll love to hear from you and let us know. Let David Vitaler, our media person, know that you like this kind of program, and perhaps we can do this several times a year to keep you up to speed on what's happening with Arizona golf. And what's happening with Arizona golf is really quite a lot. It's been a great year. 2020 was obviously unusual, very challenging, but from a golf standpoint, absolutely remarkable. Many more rounds were played, over 1 million rounds more were played in Arizona this past year than ever before. We'd had private clubs that normally do 3,000 rounds a month that were doing 5,000. Every course was full, and although the revenues might not match up with the number of rounds played because almost all the rounds were coming from locals, when tourism started to increase again in the fall, we saw a resurgence in the number of people coming to Arizona, and this all bodes well for Arizona golf and for the future of Arizona golf, which means much more for all of you who play and live here. We're very excited to talk about our future as well. Last year was great because of the number of people playing and the fact that all of our events filled for the first time in 15 years. As we look forward, there were many things we wanted to do last year that we couldn't. Ange Brown was leading this outreach role where we're bringing more opportunities, both from sponsors and for travel and for playing other courses through various partners to all the membership and to visitors. We didn't have much of a chance to roll that program out. We'll be doing that this year. We started our new magazine. I hope you've all seen it. The landscape format was interesting. It was a challenge. We sent it out in November. We hope you like it. We followed again last month with another issue. If you're not getting the magazine, let us know so we can make sure we have the right mailing list for you. That partnership with On Media is going to create many other benefits, one of which is 4 additional digital magazines that have offers, more information, a chance for those who play golf in Arizona to get some recognition. Now that most of the mass media don't cover local golf, we're going to be expanding that because that's what we've heard from you is what you want to see. And how have we heard from you? We have had 500 to 700 inquiries a day, many weeks since people started playing golf again in September, October, and the visitors came back. It's amazing how much information we've been able to share and how many more questions we've had and inquiries about the World Handicap System. That's been a challenge. The new GIN services, getting those up to speed. You know, we're always the guinea pig here. Software is rolled out in November, and then when people go back north and the East Coast opens up, everything's working well, and that's thanks to you and through our service people, our great staff here. we've been able to have an opportunity to kind of steer the direction golf is going. And we'll continue to do that. Let us hear from you. Hope you have another great year. We're looking forward to expanding tournaments and opportunities. And next, I'd like to pass it on to Leanne Finger, who's going to get into our player awards. And take it on, Leanne.
Thanks, Ed. The first of the player awards is the Mayfair Award, which honors the AGA member with the lowest weighted scoring average at the end of the year. The 2020 Mayfair Award winner is Chris Kamin, who had a 69.73 scoring average in 2020. Chris played in 7 events, winning the Northern Amateur and finishing runner-up at the 96th Arizona Amateur held at Desert Forest. Congratulations, Chris, on winning the 2020 Mayfair Award.
Well, Leanne, thanks for having me in and presenting me this nice award. It's very nice. I mean, it's a surprise that I was the low-scoring player last year, but obviously I'm very proud of that, and it's a very nice award. Thank you for it. It feels good. I mean, it kind of reflects the way that my game is. You know, I don't have a lot of big holes, big scores. So my game is pretty much keep the ball in play, hit a lot of fairways, hit a lot of greens, not really have big numbers. So, my dad used to say, if you don't make a lot of bogeys, you don't need a lot of birdies to make up for it. So, that's part of it. But, I've played a lot of golf over my life, and this is a very nice award. This was something that was unexpected, but I'm I'm real happy to win. It was something to do that wasn't COVID. It was something that wasn't about toilet paper and stuff you saw in the news all the time. It was, hey, I get to go out, I get to see friends again, I get to be outside in the sunshine and play golf. So I think for a lot of us, it was an opportunity just to do something that was more normal in our lives as opposed to something that was abnormal, which was most of 2020. My golf schedule and goals are, they always change. My family and activities my kids have, my wife has, and we have together as a family, they're always going to come first. And so golf kind of fits in after that and around work and around things that we have as adults in our lives. So, I am thankful that the AGA has got something every month. It kind of gives me an excuse to build some time into a schedule for me. I'll try to play most of the events this year. I know I have a trip to California and a trip to New York for some amateur events planned, and I look forward to those as well. But the stroke plays at Southern Dunes, of course, that I really enjoy playing. Match plays at Greyhawk, another really good golf course I've played at over the years. Look forward to playing. So I'll play a lot of the AGA events, but once a month is plenty of golf for me these days. I appreciate my wife and family letting go to play on the weekends, once a month or so, and but I guess that'd be my family.
The 2020 AGA Women's Senior Player of the Year goes to Kim Eaton. Kim's 2020 campaign included 6 events and 2 wins. She won the AGA Women's 4-Ball Championship with Lee Clossy and teamed up with Judy Penman to win the Partners Tournament at the Views. This is Kim's 8th Senior Women's Player of the Year award. Congratulations, Kim, on being named the 2020 AGA Women's Senior Player of the Year.
Thanks, Leanne. It's a great honor to be here again this year. That's quite a feat for me. It was a tough year, as everyone knows. Being able to play golf was probably a lifesaver for the majority of us players. And being able to compete was really special, since all the national tournaments and everything got canceled this last summer and stuff. And for me, it was a feat in perseverance. It was a tough year for me physically to be out there playing, and I didn't think I would have a chance at Player of the Year, especially since I didn't get to play in the Arizona Senior Women's Stroke Play. But I finished up pretty strong at the Players' Cup, and I was honored. It was a lifesaver because, being locked down for so long, Apache Wells, where I play golf, was open all winter long, or all summer long and whatever, and we just played golf. We probably played 5 times a week, and I went up to Colorado and played a couple times in some tournaments. It was just, you know, around all the negativity and stuff, it was just nice to be outside and be able to play. I'm still dealing with some physical issues, and so hopefully I can just make it through this summer. I have a lot planned. I have some national stuff planned, and I'm just hoping, I'm kind of taking one day at a time right now to see how my body's going to hold out for me. Well, I'm thankful for the Arizona Golf Association for allowing us to have access to golf tournaments and stuff. I think they did a great job this year. Leanne, thank you very much for your dedication to the game. I have to thank my spouse, Pat Kuntz. She puts up with me during all these tournaments and everything, and my family. You know, without their support, it wouldn't be as fun and enjoyable. And I'm just thankful to be able to still swing a club. I'm thankful and I'm honored.
Thanks, Kim. Now the 2020 AGA Women's Player of the Year award goes to Mikayla Fitzpatrick. Mikayla won the AGA Women's Match Play Championship at Desert Mountain, and she finished third in the AGA Stroke Play Championship and finished runner-up in her first AGA Players' Cup. In fact, between June and August, Mikayla actually held both championship trophies for AGA Women's Match Play and AGA Women's Stroke Play. Congratulations to Mikayla Fitzpatrick on her second consecutive AGA Women's Player of the Year award.
Thank you so much, Leanne. I am truly honored to be the AGA Women's Player of the Year for a second year in a row. These awards mean so much to me because it's truly a reflection and a testament to all the hard work that I put in and day out to really be the best player I can be. And it's been so great to play in these events, to just have a place to see how things are really going, test my skills in competition. So thank you for the award and thank you for the events. Really appreciate the ability to play competitive golf. In such a crazy year, 2020 has been such a crazy year for, I'm pretty sure everyone, but golf kind of acted, at least for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, as an outlet. Kind of felt like the most normal thing going on in my life. And everything kind of just faded away when you walk onto the golf course. It's just you and a little white ball. So that was really great, and to be so successful in such a crazy year was amazing. As far as this year goes, we're hoping for a better one. But it has a lot in store for me. I'm finishing up my master's degree, my MBA, in May. I'm actually working on my last paper now. And I'm also wrapping up my final college golf season. Bittersweet, but ready to move forward. And after the completion of that, I will be turning pro. Really excited about those new experiences to come. Lastly, I just want to give a few thank yous again to the AGA for putting on events and continuing to just be really great, helping us all out, being able to compete. It's been awesome. Another thank you to my coach, Brianna Janko, and my teammates continuing to push me, being a positive influence in my life, even when things are really rough. We're having a tough year. We didn't get to compete in the fall, so really thankful for them to just kind of keep all our heads up. Another thank you to my swing coach, Chris Smeal. He's just been a great influence on my game, my life. It's incredible. And then lastly, to my parents for their unconditional support. And they've just, they're wonderful. So thank you all again, and congratulations to everyone else who won awards this year.
Thanks, Mikayla. Now on to the men's 2020 Player of the Year awards. In the Legends division, the 2020 award winner goes to Murph Mitchell. His run included 9 events with 7 top 10 finishes. He finished first in the Divisional Stroke Play Legends Division Championship at TPC Champions Course in Scottsdale, and finished tied for first in the Northern Amateur in the Legends Division, however lost in a one-hole playoff. Congratulations to Murph Mitchell, the 2020 AGA Legends Player of the Year.
Well, thanks, Leanne. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of unique times that we were in. I'd like to first say thank you very much for the staff here at the Arizona Golf Association. You, Leanne, Aaron, Mike, and all the volunteers that made this happen. This was a very unique year, and with the times, not only COVID, but the heat during the summer was absolutely brutal at times, and this is a great honor for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. They're all buddies. They're good friends. We've known each other. I've been in Arizona now for 10 plus years, and Frank, Tim, Jeff Zeke, Mark Coward. There's just Rich Morrison. There's just a group of us, and we all won a tournament, and it was very competitive. But again, they're friends, and that's probably the best part of it. I've thought back on it several times and over the months, and really, especially with the COVID, the different circumstances we played at each course, and then with the heat during the summer, it was just absolutely brutal, and I really can't explain how I did it, but it was a lot of fun, and got lucky a couple times. Played well at the Falcon, ended up shooting my age in an open tournament. And then in, I guess it was August during the heat, played at Greyhawk, which is my home course. I really love playing there. And I was able to put 4 good rounds together there. I believe every time I play, whether it's playing for marbles or money or trophies, I play as hard as I can whenever I play. And that's my motto, and I stay with that. So just try to be consistent. Well, first off with my wife, she was very patient to allow me to go play. During COVID, it was tough. It's hard. But all the guys, Tim and Frank and Jeff, we're all friends, and we love playing against each other, and the chatter that goes on during the round. So it's a great group to play in, and it was a great year. So.
Thanks, Murph. The Senior Player of the Year for 2020 is Rusty Brown. Rusty won the senior division of the AGA Championship and posted 6 top 5 finishes in 2020, including the short course, the Santan Amateur, and the senior division of the Divisional Stroke Play, the Southern Amateur, as well as the AGA Players Cup. Rusty also finished tied for 10th place in the Arizona Senior Open. Congratulations to Rusty Brown, the 2020 Senior Player of the Year.
Thank you, Leanne. I'm very glad to be here. It feels good. I've won a couple of these, so I can't say it's winning the lottery good, but I'd say it's a little bit better than winning and collecting $2 from Ken Kalani good, which is, as you know, not an easy thing to do. It feels good because there are a lot of good players in the senior division. 2020 was probably a little bit different year. Some of them, like Jeff Benton, for example, didn't play as much in 2020. I thank Jeff for that. COVID was probably a big part of that. People had different priorities and were impacted differently. It didn't affect me much. I've been working at home for quite a while, so I was one of the lucky few who COVID didn't impact in that way. So that was good. But it feels great. Golf is as everybody knows, is a bit of a roller coaster ride. For example, Saturday, I came home, told my wife Diane that I had it. I've got it, baby. And then I went out and played on Sunday and hit it horrible. And by Tuesday, I was on the range completely rebuilding my swing. So golf has its ups and downs. I think winning this award means that I was able to overcome some of those downs and play consistently and and I guess I'm doing something right. My goals for 2021 are the same as they've been for a while. Winning the award doesn't really change that. I think the basic goals are to, one, get better. I still think I can get better, even at this advanced age. I may be a little delusional in that regard, but that probably helps. Second goal is to qualify for the USGA Senior Amateur, which is something that's high up on the list for everybody 55 and older. It's a real treat to play in that tournament, and hopefully I can play well for once. Third goal is to win an open event. I haven't done that in a couple of years. I still think I can do it under the right conditions at the right course. So those really haven't changed much. And then at the middle of the year, if you're in contention for the Player of the Year, maybe take a shot at that again. Oh, one more goal. I got one more goal. I need to start shooting my age. Man, I see my friends and acquaintances doing it, and it looks like a fun thing to do. My older brother, Mills, shot his age twice up at White Mountain when he was 61. Kalani does it every other day out at Dobson. And, these really old guys like Murphy Mitchell and Tim Blau and Frank Ellenberg, they break 40 on the front side, and they think they're on the hunt. So I just turned 64. I need to get that done. In closing, I really want to thank the AGA and Leanne Finger and everybody else who helped put on all the tournaments in 2020. I know that was a really difficult thing to do with COVID impacting us early on in the year, and everybody trying to figure out what we should or should not do in terms of golf and getting together. And so I know that was really trying for a lot of people. So I'd like to thank the AGA staff and all the volunteers who helped put on those tournaments, because for a tournament player like myself, the AGA tournaments are really a blessing. They're things we look forward to. Anybody who likes tournament golf likes to play in a well-run tournament, and the AGA does that extraordinarily well. So I want to thank them.
Thanks, Rusty. Our final awards go to the same standout player. In addition to winning the Masters Division Player of the Year, Bryan Hops captured the 2020 AGA Player of the Year title. In the Masters Division, Bryan posted a win and 2 second-place finishes. Overall, Bryan played in 8 events in 2020 with a win at the Mid-Amateur Championship, a runner-up finish at the Southern Amateur, as well as a runner-up finish at the season-ending AGA Players' Cup. He was also a participant on the Arizona versus Utah shootout team at the Wigwam, where he won 9 points for Team Arizona by winning all 3 of his matches. Congratulations to Bryan Hops, the 2020 AGA Masters Player of the Year, as well as the overall 2020 AGA Player of the Year.
Well, thanks, Leanne. I appreciate that. It's exciting. As you get older, you take these and cherish them more and more every year of what you're accomplishing and what you've done for the year. It was a tough year, but at the same time, it was a good year for golf. It allowed us to get out of the office, to get away from some of the things that we were restricted instead of sitting at home. So I spent a lot of time on the golf course, extra practice, extra groups. I'm also a new member of a new private club that allows me a lot of privileges to play with a lot of great players, and I've learned from them. And this time off with those great players has just made my game that much better. There's a lot of players that played well this year, and I'm just fortunate to be where I'm at. It's tough. As sad as it is, I don't get nervous too often. I've done it so many times. But I do appreciate the competitive nature of being next to someone and just trying to either compete with them or beat them, if you will. But until it comes down to the grind, until I'm behind or until I'm really getting pressured, I really don't get nervous. So it's relaxing to me to be out there and play a competitive round. Boy, new goals and things. No, I am surprised. It's the first time I thought about it that way, the winning in 3 different generations. I wish there was more wins than 3 in the open class, but it is what it is. Sometimes there's work that gets involved and in the way, personal things, travel, other national events that eat up playing some of the events. But as far as goals, just when I'm there to play as best as I can, to see it all the way through, and there's going to be bad holes, there's going to be good holes, but keeps my ups and downs as level as I can, and keep doing what I'm doing. boy, long list, and I wish I would have prepared better or something. But a lot of my employees, I will say that I have a lot of hundreds and hundreds of employees between the different states that allow me, unfortunately, to get out and play golf while they take care of the shops and the businesses while I'm gone. So I want to thank them as well. Ed and Leanne and yourselves and everybody here at AGA that puts up such great venues, that works with us to listen and understand what makes them better, to competitively make the event set up, to test our abilities. So everything hats off to the courses they check, to the people that are involved with these awards, to running the programs, to everybody that's involved with the AGA to get it where it's at.
The Arizona Golf Association utilizes an extensive volunteer base, from course rating and rules officials to officer positions at the club level. They are essential to the success of the AGA. Each year, we honor an individual who exemplifies the selfless contributions of time and dedication to serving golf in Arizona. It is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 Doc Gray's Volunteer of the Year, Jerry Glover, who has quickly risen the ranks as a leader amongst the Arizona Rules Committee.
Thanks, Alex. I really appreciate this award from both you and the entire AGA staff. It feels really incredible to have received this. The first thing I did when I got the call from you was to check on the previous recipients of it, and it's a pretty distinguished group of rules officials, needless to say, from John Guskey and Dennis Walsh, Robin Farran, Roger Waterer, Tim Holscher. To be in that company is pretty awesome. So I was surprised and very appreciative. I'm very honored by it, is all I can say. I mean, in part, it's a Volunteer of the Year award, so if you show up enough, you can get honored. But the people who are on the list are some of the best rules officials, not only in Arizona, but obviously throughout the country. So to just be on the same list as they are is quite an achievement. So I'm extremely pleased, extremely happy, and I was also very surprised by it. I enjoy being out on the course, obviously. I'm out there up to 100 plus days a year when you take into account not only course marking days, but tournament days as well. So being on the course was, quite frankly, a great distraction. The things that we went through last year were difficult to comprehend. So just to be able to get out there and be in a semi-normal environment again helped me, and I just loved the time I spent on the course, so yeah, it was a good distraction. I have a lot of things that I think I accomplished in 2020. I wanted to be the ROIC, the rules official in charge at some significant events, and I was able to do that at the state Division I Girls High School Championship this year, or last year rather. I was the ROIC recently at a ASU Women's Winter Classic event. I've actually officiated now. I did the Monday qualifier for the Waste Management Open, so I have a lot of goals still to achieve. Most significantly, I think I'm looking forward to working a USGA championship. I've done plenty of qualifiers, but working a championship, whether it be the 4-ball championship or foursomes or the Mid-Am, would be the thrill of a lifetime. So I've still got targets out there, and quite frankly, I want to be the best rules official that AGA has. So I've got some pretty high sights with people like Robin and Tim Holscher up there, but it's a challenge that I'm undertaking, let's just say. I do want to say thanks I want to call out two people in particular, and those are, one, Robin Farran. The very first time that I officiated was a JGAA event, and Scott McNevin told me that he was going to have me shadow one of the best rules officials. Well, that was an incredible understatement. To spend an entire day with Robin and just get the ins and outs of course set up and how to communicate with players was was an invaluable experience. The other is Tim Holscher. Tim and I have become good friends. We communicate. Sometimes we're on the phone talking rules issues for hours at a time, to the point where one of our phone batteries goes dead. So Tim has been willing to share his incredible knowledge and expertise with me. Those two people have been incredibly important in helping me become a better rules official. Not just knowing the numbers, 11.3 exception 2, but more how to officiate. And the two of them, I couldn't be successful at what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis on the course without them.
Mike had a great way of finding 52 hours in a day. Nothing was more important to Mike than his family. He has 3 wonderful kids, a beautiful wife, spent his time heavily involved with those kids who are now young adults and are the type of people we want in this world.
He was everywhere. It was amazing to watch from the front row on how energetic he was, and yet he always had time for his family. I mean, all the little leagues, and we used to share funny stories about, leaving here, jumping in our car, and then racing over to the little league game, and changing, going from lawyer in our suits, and presto, Clark Kent jump out, with our little league clothes on, and okay, kids, let's go. And but he had time for everything, and I don't know how he did it. I'm not sure the guy ever slept, but it was impressive to watch from the front row.
Bringing the Super Bowl to Phoenix and his relationship with the Bidwells and relationship with the NCAA and the many roles that he always jumped to the front of the line and said, okay, I'll take it.
With the Diamondbacks.
And he got it
with
done.
With the Suns.
Yeah, and he always got it done.
The tour came up with the Anderson Consulting World Championship of Golf. Mike, along with Greg Trias and Del Cochran of Greyhawk, made a pitch to the tour, and we ended up here in Scottsdale with the World Championship of Golf for 3 years.
Without Mike in the role in golf, Anderson Consulting not only just put Greyhawk on the map, but it put Scottsdale golf on an international map. Maybe not on par with the Phoenix Open, but it was discussed, golf in Scottsdale was discussed around the world because of Mike Kennedy coming to our office that day.
232 countries it was televised in.
Right.
He was very faith-driven, loved his church, spent oodles of time doing what he could in that regard. As I've mentioned before, what he did for the Valley was tremendous, and I don't know that we could ever find a person that accomplished what he did without using the word I. And if you ever talked to Mike, it was always, we did this, the team did this, etc. But he took terrific ideas and made them better.
I was sitting there and my phone rang, and Mike and I had been talking once every 10 days during this process. And in about 10 seconds, I said, he's calling to say goodbye. This isn't one of our normal conversations. It was just different. And we spoke for 28 minutes. I know it's weird, but I looked at my phone afterwards, and I even wrote down notes as to what we discussed and how it went. And it was the most humbling, engaging, uplifting conversation I've ever had.
I had a chance to text with him in his last few months of his life, and I'm convinced many others did. And he didn't do woe is me, he did instruction. He did live your life fully. When you get to this spot, make sure you look back and are proud. He touched every aspect of golf, but probably more important to me, I think he's a champion because of who he was. I personally will always enjoy, when I think about Mike Kennedy, seeing that little sheepish turn to grin look on his face when he moved something enough that he changed somebody's lives. And if that's what a champion of golf is, I'm really glad I got a chance to watch that and be part of his life.
But he was a champion of golf. He was a constant promoter of everything he did, whether it was our law firm, the law profession, his kids' careers, whatever the case may be, but particularly golf. He was a constant promoter of everything.
His space will be very hard to fill. He will be missed.
Yeah, not fillable. Yeah. You can only hope that we can find a number of people that take a little snippet of it and fill it.
Mike set a very high bar for the next succeeding person and is a wonderful champion of golf because of those activities and starting these events, creating them, focusing the spotlight on our valley and raising money and having fun doing it with a great deal of passion.
If you look under the Arizona champion of golf, his picture would be there.
The Champion of Golf Award is presented annually by the Arizona Golf Association to a person who unselfishly has created lasting benefit to the game in Arizona. This year's awardee, Mike Kennedy, unfortunately passed recently, and accepting the award in his stead is his son Rusty, a longtime player with us, a great player. So here's Rusty.
Thank you, Ed. On behalf of Team Kennedy, I'm honored to be here to accept the 2020 Champion of Golf Award on behalf of my dad, Mike Kennedy. Dad loved the game of golf. He loved Arizona golf, and he was very proud to have a hand in some really cool golf tournaments and experiences in the golf community. It was especially thrilling for us, for Dad to be able to find out about a week before his passing that he was going to be honored with this tremendous award. It was great to be able to celebrate with him. On behalf of Dad and all of his family, we are so grateful for this incredible honor. Thank you. Dad had an incredible way of combining his passions with the things that he did on a day-to-day basis, and those often overlapped. And golf was consistent with that. He figured out ways to try to help the community that he loves so much in Arizona and Phoenix and Scottsdale, while including his family, while including his friends. And along the way, I truly believe his real passion was just to try to make everybody a little bit better, which humbly I'd say he did a decent job of. It's interesting to accept an award on behalf of Dad because he'd be kicking me and telling me to stop talking, but I do want to thank Greg Mast, Tim Brown, Del Cochran, and Greg Trias for the kind words. And again, on behalf of me and my family, thank you for honoring Dad, and thank you for all the friendship and love that you've shown over the years. Thank you very much.
The Association's annual Dorothy Pease Achievement Award is given to a woman who exemplifies the spirit of the game and who has contributed to Arizona women's golf in a way that is recognized as being significant in both substance and duration. It is named for the vivacious and talented Dorothy Pease, whose contributions to women's junior and collegiate golf have left a lasting mark on Arizona and the nation. Influenced to take up the game at age 14, she first excelled as a player, winning numerous tournaments and club championships around the state, including on her home course at Arizona Country Club. After World War II, as National Director of the United Voluntary Services and a member of the Salt River Valley Swing Club, she enlisted the help of Williams Air Force Base and the Veterans Hospital to build practice greens to help rehabilitate veterans. In 1958, she was invited to join the USGA Junior Girls and Women's Committees. She used what she learned about the rules of golf, formats, and pairings over the next 22 years to enhance the many women's tournaments she volunteered for, including those of the AWGA and the 4 women's golf associations she helped form. She also, at various times, handled publicity, ran the Rules Committee, and was a board member for the AWGA, earning the nicknames Mrs. Golf and Dorothy Rules Pease for her in-depth knowledge of the game. Dorothy was a keen advocate for girls golf and in 1958 founded the Arizona Junior Girls Championship. At about that same time, she helped Betty Graham create the ASU women's golf program and mentored the team's first standout star, Joanne Carner. She would later captain the 2nd Arizona State Girls Junior America's Cup team. Dorothy was just as important to women's golf outside of Arizona. She served as president of the Women's Southwestern Golf Association and was 3-time president of the Women's Trans-Mississippi Golf Association, completing over 46 years of service to that organization and overseeing its nationwide growth. Her influence was felt worldwide during the 1970s when she became editor of The Lady Golfer, the first international magazine to promote women's golf. After The Lady Golfer ceased publication, Dorothy went to work for Karsten Manufacturing, handling publicity for Ping. She was inducted into the Arizona Golf Hall of Fame in 2000.
I first met her at Mesa Country Club. This was probably the first Arizona Women's Golf Association junior tournament that I believe she started. And I was out playing on about the 13th hole with a bunch of other high school newbies, and we were fishing balls out of the canal and all that, and she came out, of course, on the rules committee and explained to us that we had to keep up the pace of play, and she got us to move along, and she was just an absolutely marvelous woman, this beautiful smile, and just so encouraging. But she meant business. You didn't mess around on the golf course.
You know, you kind of watched your P's and Q's around Miss Pease, so that was kind of, you know, you stood up a little taller and talked to her, and she was just such a sweet, sweet, sweet lady. Very dignified lady that looked like she was just in charge of everything. I can always remember if I hadn't done as well as I'd wanted to, she always made a point to come up and talk to me, and she would just say, now it's okay, you didn't have your best week, but it's all right. Keep working, it'll get there. So those are some of my wonderful memories of Miss Pease. I think Dorothy Pease was way ahead of her time and absolutely groundbreaking for women's golf. I wouldn't be here, and many other women before me wouldn't be where they are without someone like a Dorothy Pease.
She was a driving force and vision for the foundation that we have in Arizona. I was so grateful to be recognized with the Dorothy Pease Award, because to me it meant that you had given something special to Arizona golf. Not maybe as special as what she did, but at least you were helping to promote her legacy and keep what she worked so hard to build alive. And just to see all the wonderful golfers and volunteers and people that are still keeping that legacy alive is just absolutely amazing. And to be in that company, great.
I think this award means that you've had a strong impact on the game of golf, not just women's game, but the game of golf in the state of Arizona. And it is an amazing recognition to be honored in this way.
The AWGA's Dorothy Pease Achievement Award is named for a woman who has had a profound and lasting impact on women's golf in Arizona. It is fitting that this year's Achievement Award, named in Dorothy Pease's honor, is being awarded to Sally Larson. Sally has been a champion for junior and women's golf in Arizona. She has given hundreds of hours as a volunteer, served as an AWGA board member and president, and is the rules chairman for the Joanne Winter Arizona Silver Bell Championship. These are just a few of her activities, but several of the reasons I am so honored to present Sally Larson with this award. Congratulations, Sally, and thank you for all that you do to support golf in Arizona.
Thank you, Ann, for that kind introduction. Dorothy Pease's legacy remains a testament to the dedication of women in golf today in Arizona. I'm incredibly honored as the recipient of the 2020 Dorothy Pease Award by the Arizona Women's Golf Association. Mary Pomeroy can tell you that the day she called to tell me that I was chosen for this award, I was speechless. And anyone who knows me is well aware that I always have something to say. But this time I truly was without words. So I am humbly grateful to the AWGA and proud to have had the opportunities that I have to impact golf for women in Arizona. From Rules Committee through Board of Directors, I grew with my responsibilities, and I will always be grateful for the AWGA's recognition of the value that volunteers add to their mission. So going forward, getting through the COVID pandemic is my first priority, and hopefully with my head screwed on straight. I have to thank my Del Uric Women's Golf Association for the excellent job they've done in providing protocols that have kept all of us safe from this virus. Now, in closing, I have a number of people to thank. First, of course, my husband, Gordon, who has always been incredibly supportive. He's my dog sitter. He is my rules of golf tutor, and I would not be able to do what I've done without him. Secondly, I want to thank Alice Chang, an incredible friend who was instrumental in helping me through the restructuring and consolidation of the Arizona Golf Association with the Arizona Women's Golf Association. And Mary Pomeroy, who has been an incredible friend, confidant, and wonderful leader. And Rose Naring was the individual that first got me involved in junior golf. Rose, I can't thank you enough for what my life became as a result of that. Judy Lorenzen was my first rules mentor and did a fabulous job. Linda Dawson, my first rules chair. Thank you all for this incredible award, and I wish you all the best as the new year, as the 2021 progresses, and hopefully we are soon back to our old ways.
To appreciate fully the significance of the Bob Jones Award, one need only look at the list of luminaries who have been presented with the award in the past. A list which includes Ben Hogan, Patty Bird, Arnold Palmer, Glenna Colette Vare, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, Betsy Rawls, Jack Nicklaus, and Nancy Lopez. Dr. Edgar Updegraff joins this esteemed group as the 1999 Bob Jones Award winner.
Ed Updegraff to me is the essence of golf. He is to everybody in this community, and I've had the pleasure of traveling to some major tournaments with Ed, and there's respect shown him not only as a golfer but as a human being is absolutely incredible.
A retired urologist, Dr. Updegraff has enjoyed success on the golf course for over 60 years. However, more important than the championships he has won is his devotion to the game.
I think the greatest part about Ed is his feeling towards other people, really. I truly believe Ed gets as much fun out of watching somebody else play well as he does himself.
Fine job, Peter. Fine job. He has served the game working with the Arizona Golf Association as its longtime director for more than 30 years, and later as the association's president in 1981 and 82. Ed has been a regular on Tucson Country Club's greens and golf committees, and he has assisted various junior programs by donating money and golf equipment.
He's been involved in a lot of the activities around Tucson Country Club for many years, and I think that the membership has learned from him. He's been a very active member in the club, and I think that alone also states a lot for what he stands for.
In addition, Ed has served on a number of committees for the USGA. He was a member of the Sectional Affairs Committee from 1976 until 84, and the Bob Jones Award Committee from 76 to 1980. And while he has achieved great success as a golf administrator, one should not overlook his accomplishments on the golf course.
The remarkable thing about Ed Updegraff is that while he was a practicing doctor and had a very successful practice of medicine, found enough time to become the finest golfer in Arizona and one of the top golfing amateurs in the nation, if not the world.
Dr. Updegraff has played in 17 U.S. amateurs, beginning with the 1954 National Championship, won by a man named Arnold Palmer. He was a member of the U.S. Walker Cup team in 1963, 65, and 69. Ed was accorded the honor of captain for the 1975 squad, a team that included Curtis Strange and Craig Stadler. Ed stated that playing in the Walker Cup was the epitome of an amateur career. This level of play earned him an invitation to play in 6 Masters. During the 1962 Masters, Ed got to meet and speak with the legendary Bobby Jones.
It was wonderful. He was very charming in the Bob Jones cabin where we talked with him and gave us of his a half hour or so. Billy Joe Patton and I visited with him, and we left there with tears in our eyes. It was quite nice.
Dr. Updegraff's greatest victory came at the 1981 U.S. Senior Amateur. But along the way, he collected many titles, including the Sunahana Amateur, the Southwestern Amateur, the Pacific Coast Amateur, and 2 Western Amateurs. In his home state, Ed has won 4 Arizona Amateurs and 27 club championships at the Tucson Country Club. Throughout his life, Ed Updegraff has been committed to the highest principles of the sport: honesty, integrity, and humility. For over 6 decades, he has considered it an honor to play golf as a true amateur.
To be in the company of the Ben Hogans and the Jack Nicklauses of the world, I think is certainly appropriate. It's fitting, and I can't tell you how proud I am of Ed Updegraff.
Established in 1990, the Updegraff Award is the Arizona Golf Association's highest honor, given in recognition of those who, by their actions, exemplify the spirit of the game. The award is named for Dr. Ed Updegraff of Tucson, honoring his lifetime contributions and dedication to amateur golf in Arizona. This year's recipient, Robin Farran, has been an influential part of the Arizona golf community, and we are thrilled to honor him with this award.
Well, thank you, Alex, very much. I'm very honored. I was very surprised. I joked with you later that I thought maybe you had called me by mistake, dialed the wrong number. I was very fortunate to have met Dr. Ed a number of years ago, and I had heard many stories about him, and clearly a wonderful, wonderful person. And also, I would add that many of the folks that I know very well who have won this award in past years are some of my best friends. Daryl and Derek Crawford last year, absolutely amazing people. I don't know whether I was even more thrilled than they were. I know they were thrilled and their family was thrilled with the award. I was at least as thrilled as they were, because 2 of the absolutely great people. Experience really is the best teacher in terms of learning how to officiate, how to run tournaments, and how we behave on the golf course. And as I began that exercise, I became very fascinated and particularly learned that experience really is the best teacher. And as I began to do that, quit my day job and became very active at officiating and tournament administration, what I learned was that there were just great people who volunteered as well as great people who were golfers. And so I think I learned the spirit of the game and the spirit of, I would say, operational excellence for officiating and tournament management by just some great people. People who were very fussy with details, people who realized how important it was to do things very well in terms of officiating, setting up golf courses, and the paperwork. And so I became very passionate about excellence in tournament administration, which also included officiating on the golf course. And as I have discussed with many people, what we want at the tournaments is for the players to be extremely satisfied with the experience of being at one of our tournaments. And I'd have to say that one of the things that draws me to being extremely willing to do many, many tournaments every year in one place or another around the country is that the staff who run the tournaments and the volunteers, I refer to them as the greatest people on the planet. They're just absolutely wonderful folks to spend time with. that's what I enjoy the most and what I've missed over the past year, because the tournaments out of Arizona have been almost zero. Well, zero for me. It's been very different, but we've been very active in Arizona with Arizona Golf Association and Junior Golf Association of Arizona, and you know, great players, great volunteers, and great staffs in both organizations. I would say that in Arizona we do that very well, and in the tournaments that I am a part of around the country and have been over the last 25 or more years, I guess it's a little more than that now, we have focused on that. And again, I've learned from great people and continue to learn every time. Every time we have a tournament, there are things that we've learned that, okay, next time we'll do this slightly differently or whatever. But I would say we do a pretty good job, and our focus is doing the best we can every time.
Thank you, Robin, and congratulations to you and all the other award recipients for their honors awarded here at this meeting. I look forward to seeing you all on the golf course again in the year 2021. I'm Bob McNichols, President of the Arizona Golf Association, saying thank you and goodbye.